when Marion said this a while back, I was just like, oh, that's simple, right? But you shared this with me like 7 months ago. We were on the plane and we were talking about offers and just same kind of concept here that I'm talking with you guys. He's at the end of the day, an offer you don't make is an offer they can't take. That's it. Because he was talking about when he told the story about when he launched his VIP program, which was 5 years ago. He was sick and tired of flying commercial, right? Planes kept getting delayed and changes, all of this stuff. And I'm done, right? I'm done flying commercial. He calls it, we will inconvenience you, inconvenient airlines. And he's, which one is it? All of he has this thing about TSA agents that really wanted to be agents, but they failed the test, right? All of these things, right? So he's like, just sick of flying commercial. So in Dr. Benjamin Hardy's world, what Myron did was he raised his floor, right? He raised his floor, his non-negotiables, and says, I will not fly commercial anymore. So he created an offer. He called one of his friends, says, hey, I know that you've been flying private. I would like a plane to fly from here to Vegas at that time, and from Tampa to Vegas. And Myron was thinking offers, he was going to end up paying about maybe $20,000 or $25,000. And his friend said it's going to cost $60,000 there and back. So 30,000 there, 30,000 back. Okay. So Myron's, wow, that's a lot more than I was expecting. So his friend said something to Myron. He's like, yeah, you want to fly private, put your big boy pants on, right? And Myron's, I only have big boy pants. Get the jet. But anyways, that was his first time flying private. But what he did was, he's, how can I make this work? How can I make this work? So he created an offer. He created his very first VIP offer, which was, he says, you know what, I have a list, I have an audience, I have clients who have bought my Offer Mastery, who bought my all of other programs. Let's craft a VIP offer and let's sell it for $250,000. They get to fly to Tampa, with me to Vegas, and we'll have a mastermind in the sky that can include a dinner when we land in Tampa and Eddie V's and some other stuff. You'll just throw some stuff in there. And they get 8 hours of my time they can use throughout the year, et cetera, et cetera. So he crafted an offer and then he made it, right? The key is he made the offer and 2 people bought. So essentially that flight, he made $450,000. He called it at that time an anyway offer. He was going to go there anyways, right? So he made this offer, made $450,000 minus the jet cost, $60,000. And plus he made some money at the event. So realistically, there and back, he ended up netting about $370,000 that weekend, right? So this is what he came up with. He said, and that's why in today's video, today's training, we're going to talk about an offer you don't make is an offer that they can't take. We shared in the past video, I talked about CEO. Being a CEO is a chief executive officer, and a CEO does not stand for a chief everything officer, right? It stands for chief executive officer. But being a CEO in today's economy, in today's business world, is not good enough. You have a creator CEO. You have to create. You have to create so that people discover you. You have to create so that you are findable. Okay. So in the last week's training, I talked about the 4 pillars of your business, the 4 essential pillars, which is traffic, leads, sales, and fulfillment, right? So think of it like a movie experience, right? Traffic is your trailer of your movie, and your trailer is not designed to sell people. Traffic is not designed to sell people. Traffic is designed, when created, designed to be findable, to get people to discover that your movie is coming out, okay? And then leads is like your teaser, right? Your behind the scenes. Who are all the actors in this movie that's coming out? Get people excited. That teaser is designed to sell the ticket to your movie. And sales is the ticket to your movie. And then fulfillment is your movie experience. After they buy the ticket, they come to experience the movie. They go to the movie theater. And then if you look at the movie theater experience has changed a lot. I think Sudi Movie Girl launched in 15 or 16 years ago. Just think about before, we used to, fulfillment, the movie experience was, I would go and just buy popcorn, maybe some candy, a soda or drink, some water, and then maybe a hot dog. That was pretty much it, right? Now the movie experience is like, I can go buy alcohol. I have a full blown dinner. There's a, there's a one in here now in California that is a high end steakhouse movie theater. It's insane, right? Imagine like it's not just studio movie girl anymore. You go watch a movie and you're like literally paying $150 for a steak while you're watching a movie. And you can even buy bottle service, right? And you get the person that's serving you the wine and all this stuff, like totally has changed, right? So this training today, we're going to spend time on sales and fulfillment, right? Being a creator CEO of conversion and being a creator CEO of change, right? Because in the the last training last week, we talked about being a creator CEO of content and being a creator CEO of connection. Okay. So being creator CEO of content is basically you creating opportunities that most CEO creators are not waiting for opportunities. So if you really look at being traffic as your trailer, the very first step is being a creator CEO of content so that you literally stop chasing and really start creating really your next level, right? So this is kind of like your trailer coming out, right? Trailer of your movie. Again, it's not designed to sell something. It's designed to get people to discover you, right? So traffic is your trailer. That's your top of funnel. Okay. And being a creator, a CEO of connection, this is your teasers, right? This is the second step is you're connecting with your audience. This is behind the scenes. This is you going on tour, doing interviews, going on the late night show with Jimmy Kimmel or whatever, right? So that you're making an impact, you actually generate income. And really the teaser, yes, right, is designed, your leads is designed to sell your offer, right? To sell your low ticket, your front end offer. In this case, we're using a movie experience to sell your movie ticket, right? So that's your teaser. This is your middle funnel. This is your VSLs that you create, your book, right? Your free book, free lead magnets, your low ticket books, right? Your low ticket mini courses, your free VSLs, your free automated webinars. These are your teasers to your movie that actually sells tickets to your movie. Okay. And that's why today we can talk about sales and fulfillment. We're going to talk about the third step in this whole thing is being a creator, a CEO of conversions, right? And when you're talking about CEO of conversions, what you're really doing is you are selling the payoff, not the process. So the third step of this is a creator CEO of conversion so that you can acquire after you've added massive value. Your VSLs, your lead magnets, all of that stuff is all designed to create massive value. But then now it's time to sell. Now it's time to make the offer, right? Being creator CEO of conversion is time to make your offer. This is your movie ticket. This is after they watch a trailer, after they watch the teaser, and this is where you're actually selling a ticket to your movie. So I'm going to share with you guys, where we're doing that, right? As an example. So I have my January schedule pulled up here. Okay. So me and Phyllis, my wife, at the beginning of this year of 2025, I recognize a pattern, right? I said, Phyllis, for the last 5 years, you've been finding great teams. You have placed over 3,000 VAs in all of your clients' companies. We have close to 400 VAs that work internally under our agency now as well. But I see a problem. The problem that I see is the teams that are really performing really well is because the business owner themselves has clarity, right? They have clarity in what they're selling. They have clarity in who they're selling. They have clarity in why they're selling it. They have clarity in where they're making their offer, right? Mainly those four. So that's why the team, the VAs can come in and really do the job, perform the job really well because the business owner has clarity. We really need to create a coaching offer with the VA services and the VA agency because as you're teaching people, what you're really selling is delegation and automation. That's really what you're selling. But in order for them to delegate and automate effectively with their team, to help their team run their business, leveraging their dream team, we have to give them some clarity in what their dream life looks like and what their dream business looks like so that they can leverage their dream team. So we crafted this offer to coach people on their business and how to delegate and automate with virtual assistants. So I said, we need to create an offer. So we create an offer, we launched it. We had, 6 clients purchase that so far. And that's just our pre-launch. So I said, because the pre-launch needs to happen so that it can literally set up what we're going to do in 2026, which is essentially we're going to sell this, right? We're going to sell this during our challenge. We said we're going to make this offer. It's a $50,000 offer during a 5-day challenge, right? I knew that in 2026, we're going to start running our challenge. So I'm just sharing with you in terms of being a creator CEO of conversion is map out where you're going to make your offer, right? So I have 2 offers, right? I have a $25,000 offer that just focuses on the business strategies. And then, so that's on my side. And then the side that I partner with my wife on, Phyllis on the VA business, is the business tactics and also the delegation automation with VAs. So that's a $50,000 offer. So I'm going to show you examples of what it means to be a creator CEO of conversion. We're doing a 5-day challenge. That's where we're going to sell our $50,000 offer, right? So if you look at my calendar, we have committed to running this challenge every essentially 3 weeks, right? So 3 to 4 weeks the most, but most of the time it's 3 weeks. So a 5-day challenge in January, I have a 5-day challenge in February. This is 3 weeks later in March, right? 3 weeks later in April, 3 weeks later in May. I've already mapped out my entire where I'm going to run, when I'm going to run my 5-day challenge. So we're going to be doing 14 challenges for the entire year of 2026 for our $50,000 offer. And then if you look at this calendar as well, I have also mapped out when I'm going to run my 3-day challenge, which is my 100K immersion. So I have 3 days here at the beginning of January, same thing. My 100K immersion, I'm also doing every 3 to 4 weeks as well. Make sense? So I mapped it all out. So I have my whole strategy lined up when I'm running my challenges and my immersions already, right? So being a creator CEO conversion, you have to know literally where you're going to make your offer, right? And map it out, put it on your calendar. And then literally, because you guys know we travel quite a bit. So I wanted to map it out throughout the entire year. In total, so 2026, I'll be doing 14 immersions and I'll be doing 14 challenges as well for both of my offers. So now back to you guys, right? Your offer, whatever you're going to make, just like Rebecca, your offer that you sent me, like where is that? Where are you going to make an offer so that you can really step into this role of being a creator CEO of conversion? What is that? Is it a 3-day? I heard it was a 3-day challenge. Rebecca, is it a 3-day challenge? Sorry.
What was it? Second, sorry. I've been undecided. I was actually running stats statistically what would work better. For me, I'd rather just get it all done, do a 4-day or a 4-hour summit, but I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing for the people that I'm trying to reach. And so ChatGPT is suggesting a challenge for me.
Challenge. Yeah, like a 3-day challenge, under hour a day, hour, like 90 minutes.
Like an hour and then a VIP hour. So it's 2 hours a day.
Yeah. Here's why challenges work. Our job is to do really 2 things. Our job is to either eliminate or reduce overwhelm. That's our job. It's either eliminate or significantly reduce overwhelm. So even if you did a long, even a full day or even a 4-hour, at the end of the day, it's about making sure that you don't overwhelm your audience. That's really what it is, right? Some people go way, like Tony events, I think they're very overwhelming. I like the way Myron runs his events. Like in his fulfillment events, it's like they'll train you for an hour, maybe an hour 15, and then they'll take a 10, 15-minute break and come back and do it again. And it feels really good. Gives people to mingle and with each other and all that stuff and learn from each other, etc. But it just gives you enough content for you to like not overwhelm, say, okay, that was good. Then you get time to process it. So whether it's a 4-hour or it's a 3-day or 5-day challenge, the goal here is to make sure that you just don't overwhelm them. I like the challenge model because I know it works. I've done mini models. I've done 3-day boot camps. I've done all kinds of models. But I really like for my stage of life and how I want to live, where you guys know that I travel quite a bit, just like I'm in Tulum, Mexico right now. I live in Asia next year. After a lot of my masterminds are over this year, where I immerse myself. I oversubscribe this year in all my masterminds. But as some of my masterminds ends in like February, March, most of the next year, I really want to spend most of my time in Asia, in my Malaysia house, right? So I have designed, which is the next step that we're going to talk about, being a creator CEO of change. Like you also have to design your life and then design your business kind of around that, your fulfillment works for you regardless of where you work. It doesn't matter where you work. So whether my schedule is whether I'm in the US or I'm in Asia, it's the same. Makes sense, right? So that's if you look at all my schedule, the way that I'm doing it, it works, doesn't matter where I'm actually at. Okay. I love challenges for me because whether it's 3 days or 5 days, it aligns with how I want to live. I can be like my challenge is like when the time that's here, our challenge starts at 10, right? 10 every day. 10 to 11 is VIPs, 11 to 12 is our general admission. So if I'm in Asia, that's essentially 10 a night. 10 to 11 is VIPs and 11 to 12 is general admission. So to me, whether that schedule they remain the same, whether I'm in the US or in Asia time zone to run my business. Makes sense? My immersion, the same thing. My immersion's at the 3-day challenge, but it's 3 hours a day. That's what I'm doing. 3 hours a day. My VIPs get an hour and a half prior to the general admission, and the general admission is an hour and a half afterwards. Okay. So that's what I'm doing. How much is the offer?
We were talking about starting me at 5,000, which obviously is comfortable. When I was working through processes with chat, it's telling me more like 11,000.
And again, I want you to keep it for 5,000 for right now, because here's why. I want you to, when you sell the $5,000 offer and run it on a 3-day challenge, just like what you're planning on doing is perfect. Hour a day, hour and a half a day, right? I would do 2. And if you're going to do a challenge, I highly recommend to make sure that you do split it up. You do have a general admission ticket and you do have a VIP ticket. Okay. Donna and Ed, you guys probably saw this. There were 2 tickets sold at the Bo Eason event, right? General admission and then VIP. Okay. You guys probably saw this. I wasn't there on day 3 because I had to leave for a family emergency. But when he made the offer, you guys probably noticed that the people that bought were the people who bought VIP. Am I right or wrong? Whoever bought VIP bought the mastermind, bought his $35,000 mastermind. It was barely that a general admission bought it. And there might be some, 1 or 2, but majority, I would say 90% of the people who bought the mastermind were VIPs. Right or wrong, Idan? That's what you saw? Yeah. It's always that way. It is always that way. So I don't know how many people buy. I haven't asked them yet because I'm a mastermind member of learning, so I always ask them as well. But it's good to know that there's people who want to pay enough attention, who want to pay enough, just get in the room with you. And the likeliness of them buying is really low. They're just dipping their toes in the water enough. They just want to get in the room. There'll be some that buy, not all, but most of the time, those who buy VIP are those the ones who really convert. So if you're going to do a challenge or 4-hour mass, like my 3-day challenge, which is 3 hours, it's still split up that way. My VIPs come first and they get an hour and a half of my time before the challenge starts. The challenge general admission comes. Make sense? Right? So there's always 2 prices. So just like our challenge is $97 to come to our challenge as general admission, and then $297 as VIP. Okay, makes sense. Good. So 3-day challenge. So my challenge to you, Rebecca, and everybody on this call as well, we're gonna confirm what you're actually gonna do. I would stick to a 3-day challenge. The time of your challenge though will be dependent on your audience. Is your audience working for people?
I'm going after professionals, business owners. So I was
Okay.
high achievers.
High achievers. Yeah. So you guys you have to decide what's the best time, right? If they're employed, they can't get away midday, that might have an issue of them actually being able to buy a ticket to your challenge. So you might have to do evening. And I would test both. I would do one midday, right? In your time zone, starting at 10 or 11. Either 10 or 11 works for VIPs, and then an hour after is your general admission. So if you start at 10, VIPs come at 10, general admission come at 11. Or if you start at 11 VIP, then general admission comes at 12. So do it like a 2-hour, 5-day challenge. If you can do 3 hours, maybe do a total of 3 hours total instead of 2, right? And try both. Try midday, some challenges midday, try some challenges at night in the evening, right? Starting at 5 your VIPs, right? Or 5 to 6:30 if you do a 3-day challenge. And then the rest, 6:30 to 8 o'clock would be your general admission, right? And if it's a 5-day, it's 7 to 8 is your general admission, 5 to 6 is your VIPs. And try some at night too. Okay, good. But map it out, Rebecca. Map out your whole year. And you can change it, right? After your life changes, if there's some events that come up, you can change it. At least you have it all mapped out when you want to do it every 3 weeks to a month max. So every month you should be doing a challenge, and it should be a paid challenge. Okay, so map it out. I'd love to see your calendar. We can have a private discussion as well. I want to schedule a call separately with you anyways about your offer and your schedule of where you're going to make it. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll work on that.
Okay, cool. Data, creator CEO conversion, where are you going to make your offer? And we talked about you and Ed getting to the space of what you guys really do, right? Like your payoff is what? Your payoff is you guys help people end chronic suffering. I believe that's your thing, because the reason why I believe that's your thing, because you went through, that's the only reason you went through that. You had people who had chronic suffering, like your mom. That was such a beautiful story that you shared on stage there about your mom. And I'm like, I didn't even know that. And
Yeah.
if you shared more of that, people would lean in more to you.
Okay.
Because you didn't share that, it became more of you representing your brand or the product instead of you representing the problem that you solve and your purpose. By telling your story the way you did, now you are sharing your purpose and the problem you solve, not just the product LifeLeave itself.
That's what I learned.
That's what you learn. Yeah, because that's what it is. So has your offer changed? Okay. When I say change, what I mean by that is, did you guys leave based on our conversation and you knowing you have to share your story more so that you can represent your purpose? Has it changed to the point where maybe LifeWave is part of your offer? You know what I mean? Like, for example, kind of like Rebecca, maybe you should craft a $5,000 offer. It's more of an offer where you step into that health space, right? The health space where the LifeWave patch is part of your offer instead of you just selling the LifeWave patch by itself. Is that something that you guys are considering, or you guys haven't thought really about it?
I think that have, but we're open.
Yeah, let's some private time to continue that conversation we had. And I think Myron shared this with you at the dinner table when you were in the West. Yeah, he was like, oh, it makes sense too, because he's in network marketing, and that's essentially what he did. You have this product that's good, right? Whether it's ACN, whether it's Raman, whether it's LifeWave, you have this amazing product. So sell that amazing product as a standalone like you're doing, or you're creating an offer and that amazing product is part of it.
Yeah.
Right?
He did say that, like that coaching program.
Yeah. And what he meant by that, he didn't give you a clear, detailed answer, but what he did was when he was in network marketing, what he created a sales offer. So meaning he created an offer where he taught people how to sell. And by teaching people how to sell, on top, inside that offer was the actual product for the network marketing that he was in. Does that make sense? Because the people that came to learn how to sell, they didn't have a product. So he's, oh, you don't have a product. Here's a product for you to sell. That's basically what he meant. Make sense?
Yeah, I definitely want to do that.
Yeah. So let's have a conversation about that, because I think that you need to get clarity in that before you decide, are you going to run a 3-day challenge, a 5-day challenge, a masterclass, right? Whatever, however you're going to make your offer, going away from the one-on-one model. Again, I'm not huge on the
Totally.
Okay.
What's rough?
Cool. Janita, what about you? I know you're doing the tiny challenge model, which
Modified. It's modified.
modified. Good. What is the modification?
So it'll be a low ticket price to get in, because I'm learning that people
Perfect.
will flake. It's free.
Yes.
So low ticket, like $29 and $49. I'll make my offer there because I am making resources for them for those 5 days. Not just like I'm just sitting there, but they are getting me and they're getting what I'm creating. So I'll make the offer there. And it's still going to be the boot camp. I think that is because what I do is not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a week. It takes time. So I'm still going to do the boot camp. And I haven't made the offer for the boot camp yet, but I'm going to make the offer when I have my first tiny challenge, which I should be having next week. I just have to confirm. and then make the offer and then see, because they said make the offer but modify it based on what they need, especially in the beginning. And
Yeah.
then as you go on, you can iterate and come out with the one that you think is the best one based on how many people you put through that.
Is your value ladder a ticket to your challenge? And then when they come to your challenge, what is the next step? Is it a $1,000 offer, a $5,000 offer, a 3,000? What's the next ascension?
4997 offer.
4997. So 4997, perfect. Then when you sell that, when you design your 4997 offer, within it, I'm assuming you have some fulfillment in there.
Yes.
But the fulfillment that you have in there are also designed for you to sell the next ascension, which is what? 20,000, 15,000, what is it?
Okay, 20,000. Wait, we didn't get there yet. See, so we'll say 15. But yes,
Yeah,
that's the goal.
15,000. Okay,
Because you
good.
told me last time I need to have a map almost. And now I'm
Yep.
seeing maps everywhere. So I had a map created. And at the end of it says sustaining, becoming unshakably her. And so that's the
Yeah.
next step.
Yeah, because remember, when you sell something, you're solving a problem. Once you solve a problem, it creates another problem. That's why value ladders work. That's why ascension offers work, because when you sell them something, there will be you solve one problem, it creates more problems. So that's why people buy more, right? So like in my world, for example, when somebody buys a ticket to our immersion, right? When they come there for 3 days, right? 3 hours a day, 9 hours, that solves a lot of problems, but it also opened up a whole other set of problems. That's why after the immersion, that's why we make our $25,000 offer. So we make a $25,000 offer and they say yes to that, and they come in and they learn how to craft their offer, their marketing strategy, all that stuff. It opens up and they actually get the result and they get to, let's say, their first 100K, right? Now it opens up other problems for them to say, now I made my 100K. How do I now get to 100K a month consistently? So that opens up a whole other problems, whole new mindsets, new skill sets, new tool sets that are needed, right? So that's why we then make up, how do I do this? And that's where we make our $50,000 offer. Then, hey, you're going to need a team to help you get to 100K a month consistently. So it opens up other problems. So when you sell something, it always solves a problem, but it creates more problems. And in the 4997, like I said, when you create that offer, make sure that as you have your fulfillment in there, all your fulfillment is just a bridge between where they're at and where they want to go, or the solution and the problem that you just uncovered to the next problem, so that it gives you an opportunity to upsell them to your $15,000 offer. So all those are fulfillments, they are just touch points for you to ascend them. Just like Richmond, when he sells his $1,200 offer, his next ascension with all the fulfillment he does, he's selling P1, right? $30,000 P1. When you're in P1, that fulfillment of P1, he's upselling them to $100,000 offer now. And some people he's selecting to make $1 million offers to. So all the fulfillment it's just a bridge for the next offer. Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
Very good. And how often, and again, for you too, let's map out your challenge schedule for the whole year, right? Again, you can change it around, but if you just really looked at your entire year, just like my calendar I shared with you guys, I have all my 14 challenges already scheduled. I have 14 immersions already scheduled for next year. And as my schedule changes, it's easier for me to change them out, right? And move them around, but they are there. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Yes, thank you.
The last part is obviously being a creator, CEO of change, right? Because people didn't buy results, they bought transformation. They didn't buy your offer. They bought results that they're going to get and the transformation that they're going to get. So the fourth step in this, being a creator of change, is your movie experience. As an example, now they bought the ticket to your movie. Now they're going to come to your movie, right? And you have to give an amazing experience. And the reason why you want to give them amazing experiences is so that they come back, and instead of going to watch a movie somewhere else, they're going to watch the movie with you. And that's where you have to decide. That's why it's important to really design your dream life, decide to live it, and then basically build a dream business you will love to fund and fuel your dream life. Whether it's your deliverables, your fulfillment is done for you. If that's your thing, like your providing some type of a service or done with you, like a one-on-one group coaching mastermind events, or maybe your fulfillment that aligns with your dream life, running your dream business is maybe DIY, do it yourself, where your clients are maybe learning at their own time, at their own pace. So as you guys craft your offer, right? Being a creator CEO of conversion and change, your job really is to make sure that your fulfillment isn't something that you have this amazing life that you want to live, but then your fulfillment is something that you hate. You definitely don't want to do that. I remember I was there. That's why I'm not in the funnel building business anymore, because I did not like that business, right? I love funnels. I love everything about sales funnels. And we made money. Like we actually generated $1 million in that business. But then yet, right, a year after doing over $1 million, $1.2 million, walking the stage at Funnel Hacking Live in 2021, I'm like, I don't like this business because I didn't like the way my fulfillment. That's the only thing, right? I love funnels. People are building their funnels, they're crushing it with their funnels, but I just didn't like the fact that I had to manage the projects and stuff like that. That's why let's make sure that your fulfillment, whatever is part of your offer when you make it, that you actually love what you're doing, just like this, right? I love hopping on these calls with you because part of my fulfillment in this particular offer is the call with you guys, right? And I love it because it aligns with how I want to live. I could be anywhere doing this, just like I am in beautiful Tulum, Mexico. By the way, if you guys have not visited Tulum, it is beautiful. It's Avatar. It's amazing. Yeah, it's really neat. You walk out of there's so many places to visit. But I came here also because there'll be some news coming out soon. I'm gonna start doing live events. I'm gonna start including live events for you guys, and I'm looking for places for us to hang out and really do some high level masterminds, 2-3 day masterminds where you guys can come in, fly in, we'll do some live stuff, and then you guys go back and have things to execute. So that's what I'm doing here as well. Okay, very cool. But it does start with fulfillment. Yes.
Is that for this coaching level for the in-person events?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys are what I call the founders. So whatever I create, whatever I add on as value for you guys that I'm going to sell in the future for new people coming in, you guys get grandfathered in with that. So you guys will get it as part of it. So it's something that I'm thinking about doing because I realize that, and you guys should really do this as well. People are going to want to get in rooms. People are going to want to get into, so on your top of funnel and your middle of funnel, your trailer and your teasers, do as much automation as possible. Automate that as much as possible and create as much content, distribute it as much as possible and automate as possible. And then sell people to get in, right? Sell people to get into the live virtual room with you. And then some of your high level people that want to actually physically get in the room with you, then you got to create some in-person events as well. But the cool part about creating in-person events this way, the in-person events have already been paid for by your clients, where you're not stressed out like how we used to do it, where we would go out, find the event space, pay for the event space, all that stuff, and then try to sell it. Now it's put that as part of your offer so that your clients already have said yes to your offer. They're already paid for it, and you're using that revenue to actually get the space. Make sense? So you're doing it the correct way this time. Okay. So that's the 2 topics today, guys. Be a creator of conversion, decide where you're going to make your offer. Again, whether it's a 3-day challenge, 5-day challenge, 4-hour immersive, 1-day, 2-day, 3-day events, make your offer and then be a creator of change. Your job is to help people change, get the results, get transformation, but it's got to be fulfillment that it really aligns with your life, how you want to live. You want this amazing dream life, but then running a business that you actually hate because you don't like the fulfillment.